Hi, this is Anita from Reluctant Low Carb Life. Today there's a lot of different diets out there. Somebody told me about a diet that they're going on, which is kind of like the former MetaFast, but they, basically have a protein bar, protein shake. They eat a meal, and then in the evening they have a protein shake, and then they have some type of protein brownie. For some people, this works great. I just am not a great believer that this actually solves the underlying problem as to why we get unhealthy or get fat in the first place. I believe very much in what I call the three pillars of health, which is eating foods that help you feel full, a concept of satiety, that protein helps you feel full. Vegetables can help you feel full. You don't feel hungry after eating some vegetables. But if you've ever eaten a McDonald's hamburger and suddenly an hour later you're really hungry, that's because that McDonald's hamburger didn't give you maybe the satiety that you needed. The other one is eating fresh, to eat foods which are not ultra-processed. We live in a world, especially in parts of Europe and America today, where there is so much ultra-processed food. I've heard something about that 80% of all children are, or might have 60 or 70% of their food might be ultra-processed, or some it's even as high as 80%. It's a huge amount of food that they're eating today, which is ultra-processed. And what does this mean? This means that they're eating foods that have more chemicals in them than they actually have nutrients. So we are great believers in fresh, which is mean real food over processed shortcuts. And you might ask yourself, well, why does fresh matter? Well, whole foods are packed with vitamins and minerals and, antioxidants, which helps your body to be able to function better. Less junk food means fewer cravings. If you eat real food, you don't feel hungry so much. You have better satiety. Fake food can trick your brain. That's why you can sit down and you can have a bag of potato chips, and before you know it, you've eaten the whole bag of potato chips, or you've eaten the whole box of crackers or the whole box of cookies, because of the fact that it tricks your brain into thinking that you're really, not quite full, and you'll just keep eating more and more. The ultra-processed foods are really made for you to be able to eat as much of them as you can. Think about it. The food companies are not there necessarily to make you healthy. Nobody overeats on broccoli, or nobody overeats on spinach. The food companies are there to make you want to eat more of their ultra-processed foods. So real foods is what is important. And as we talked before, real foods can help you feel full longer. That's why, like many of our ancestors, they didn't have all these ultra-processed foods. And so that's why they were skinny, they were healthy, they were fit, because of the fact that they didn't have the ultra-processed foods like we had today. Unfortunately, they didn't also have the advances in medicine as we have today. So, many of them died of things that maybe they wouldn't die of today if they were eating the same way. Our last pillar is about being fit. Move like you mean it, to be able to get some activity into your daily life. You might ask, well, why does this matter? Well, it can help with your insulin sensitivity, if you're insulin sensitive, which most of us are, your muscles and your metabolism and your mental resilience. All of that can help. Walk every day. Yes, walking can count. Do some strength training. Stay active in life. Take stairs. Doing housework, gardening, playing with the kids can all be part of staying active. So I'm a great believer that, these three pillars, it's not just about, the way you eat. It's really about your life. It's about how you live. It's about looking at these three things in your daily life to be able to improve your life each and every single day. And that's why at Reluctant Low Carb Life, we are great believers in these three things, which is really about living your life with a trifecta of health, which is eating fresh foods which are fresh in its natural form, eating foods which will help you feel full longer. And usually that has to do with, eating fresh vegetables, eating fresh meats, eating fresh foods of some form. And the last one is in fitness, in eating foods that help you to be able to, if you eat those foods, then you'll find yourself being able to have more energy for your fitness, and that to find some way to be able to move and to keep on moving. That's what's really important. If you'd like to be able to read more about this, we have a blog post we have written. We'll put a link to the blog post in the description below. The 3 pillars of sustainable low-carb living, fresh, full, and fit explained. And that you should be able to, you'll find more details there on that blog post, can help you be able to navigate this, which is really a new way of thinking for many people that have been in the diet sphere for a long time. But it is really a very natural and, I would say, logical way to be able to look at your health and your fitness.